What is up, Sports Spectrum fans? Jonathan Isaac here, founder of the really dope Christian footwear and apparel brand called Unite Us. This week, we're partnering with Sports Spectrum. All you have to do is use code SS10 at weareunitus.com and check out for a discount. Thanks so much.
What is up, Sports Spectrum? We're presented today by Unitas. We're so thankful for their partnership. You can check them out at weareunitus.com. But I'm here today with the guy I grew up cheering for every Sunday in my Seahawks green and blue, Shaun Alexander. Welcome to Super Bowl 59.
Oh, my goodness. I am so proud of you. I feel like I held you a couple of times. This is amazing.
It's so crazy. I'm like, okay, don't cry. This is like a full circle moment for me.
You're so big time.
I got to spend the summer in Seattle working for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
And on game days, I got to be in the booth with Steve Rabel, Seahawks
Wow,
legendary
yeah.
play-by-play guy. And I got to be in the back while he was saying, touchdown Seahawks. I'm like, man, I've heard that so many times because of this guy.
Yeah.
I've just heard all those. I think your nickname was Mr. Touchdown.
Yeah.
So really special for me to be able to just kind of relive in some of those moments that you were a huge part of.
Oh, man, this has been great. I'm so excited. Excited for you, excited to see what you're doing. And, yeah, Seahawks is still alive and kicking, man. It's great.
They are. Well, we know you're an NFL MVP, but everyone who I know and I talk to talks about the other MVPs in your household, specifically your wife, Valerie. So what's going on in the Alexander household right now?
Well, I just talked with Valerie this morning, and she's doing great. She loves when we come down here. So she's come down here a couple times with me, but she didn't make it this trip. But she's hanging back with the 12 little ones. I say little, but, 2 of them are in college now. The other 10 are at the house.
The other 10? That's like, that's not a casual thing to say.
9 girls and 3 boys, and the last 4 are all girls, and they are 6, 4, 3, and 1 years old. And so it's a live house all the time.
That's awesome. And they're at, some of those girls are at Liberty, I believe?
Yeah, the oldest 2 girls are in Liberty. Heaven is a junior. Trinity is actually she's on a track team, so she's a freshman. And she's doing really good. She's PR'd their last 2 events, and so she's getting better and getting faster as a freshman.
That's incredible. Just because Liberty is always a school that I've always wanted to learn more about, and I honestly wish I would have had the experience to tour it. What has that been like for you as a dad to know that your children are going to a Christian university?
Yeah, it's been kind of wild because, a lot of times when you hear Christian university, you hear like stale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You were
Not
raised in the
fun,
truth.
right?
Yeah, like just – and Liberty has done a great job of having unwavering biblical standards and at the same time allowing kids to venture through what it means to make their own decision. And I love that. I love that there's a standard. We're not going to just make it easy for you to be, drinking and partying and being in dorms with boys and girls. Like, yeah, we're not going to do that. But at the same time, you get to choose the outcome of your life. And here's some great teachers that love the Lord. Here's some great students that love the Lord. Here's ways to have relationships with other students to be able to say, hey, what's it mean to be held accountable and make your own decision among peers? And so I've loved what I've seen out of the growth of my girls. And, and I was always, I would say lovingly, but really unwavering about what the standard is.
Yeah.
And so it's been really good for me as a parent, but then it's been great for them.
That's so cool, and I'm sure they are learning a lot and being poured into at Liberty. But I know for me in my life, my dad's football experience has carried over into the lessons that he's taught me as a parent. And, man, he probably doesn't even realize the amount of things that he's teaching me that are really football things that he learned that he's speaking into my life just about schools, sports, faith, all the things. So how have your football experiences poured into how you parent?
You know what? I think that there's a great discipline that happens, and like I always say, just great structure. Like every morning, especially when I'm here, I get all the kids up. I let my beautiful bride stay in bed, and so she doesn't even come downstairs till like 11. And so what I say is, hey, every morning, breakfast around 8, 7, 8, it depends on, we get some early bird kids, and, we have the gauntlet of what personalities are. So you get some are up at 6:30.
I mean, you got everything to choose from.
Yes. And so we try to get done with breakfast around 9, so then 9 o'clock is Bible time. And I'll sit the marker board up over top of the fireplace, be like, hey, here's the schedule for today. Here's the schedule for the rest of the week. I've always tried to implement a one-on-one with each of the kids. And so, hey, you got Monday, you three got Tuesday, you got Wednesday, you two got Thursday, and you got Friday, And so they all know that they're going to have 30 minutes to an hour and a half, some 2 hours just being with Dad. And so we kind of rotate that day. And then here's the games. You two, the middle girls got basketball and Mom's coaching, so y'all going to be here. Here's going to pick you up. This son's a freshman, so you've got football, and this son's 7th grade, and he's got basketball, and we put everybody in there. So, okay, cool. Everybody understand the plan. Yep, great. Okay, good. Open your Bible.
Yeah.
now we're going to pray. We're going to tap in and ask God to lead all this scheduling that we made, but we're asking God to take it all over. And that's kind of how our day starts. So there's a great structure, a great discipline, and then there's this freedom within disciplines. And it's been really, really successful so far.
That's cool. Well, you literally have like a football team and like strength in numbers in your family. And I bet just being a part of a community of believers within football is probably, you've brought that into how you literally run your daily schedule with your family. So just going to, we're here at Super Bowl 59, but you were in Super Bowl 40 with my dad and Matt. Going back to that year, what was the community of believers like on that team?
It was amazing. I try to explain to people, I said, y'all don't know, like, we prayed as a team after practice all the time. Like, it was just like, Matt was like, hey, we're all going to meet at that. Yeah. Hey, and we'd all just be circled up, and, like, it would start with, like 5 or 6 of us, and, and then the next it was Matt. Mac Strong was my fullback, so me and Matt and Mac, and Matt always had a cool quarterback, even back when we were young, when Dilford was like our big brother, what I mean? And then it just grew and grew. Next thing you know, you got like 20, 30, 40 guys. We're all just praying, after practices, getting ready for the game. Like, there was a strong way. We felt like God of the universe was like on our side, and so there was learning lessons. We didn't try to manipulate God and be like, God, you're with us only if we're winning. We're like, nah. We climbed from being a bad Seahawks team that we all kind of inherited the history of it to turning our program into a very successful winning program. And that's what everybody still sees today. I say we John the Baptist that thing, you know what I mean? And so Russell and Marshawn, they got to walk through the thing, but by the time they got there, we was already.
I gotta go back to John the Baptist that thing. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we won. We were a winning program, so it was good.
That's incredible. Well, I do want to talk about a specific moment because you mentioned prayer and that team. Because my dad, told me this story about, hey, after the Super Bowl, like our team is going to pray regardless. So we're going to pray whether we win or we lose. And I remember him telling me, like, it was so hard to pray after that Super Bowl loss to the Steelers, but you guys still did, and you were one of the guys with him. What do you remember from being in this game years ago, but still after, one of the hardest moments probably of your career, still giving the glory to the Lord.
Still wanting to honor God with the positions that we have, and it was hard because you feel that. Like, we were like, hey, we're still going to meet at the 50, and we told the Steelers, hey, we're going to still meet no matter what. And it felt like the media and the fans were like, no, just get off the field. You're a bunch of losers. Get off. They didn't say that, but that's how it felt. And we were like, no, you know what? No matter what, we're going to thank God, and we're going to give honor to God for this game and for our team and for what he's done. And it was hard, but we did it.
That's awesome. Well, I have to ask you about Coach Holmgren because he's up for the Hall of Fame tonight. I think it's going to get announced. What are your thoughts on his Hall of Fame opportunity?
He was the predecessor for Bill Walsh. Like, people don't understand, Bill Walsh had this great coaching tree. But Mike was his guy. Mike was the one. And so we know if Mike was one there, and, he had Joe Montana, and he had Jerry Rice, and I just saw Joe Montana, and he had Steve Young, and then he had Brett Favre, and so, and so he's had so many, like, guys that win the MVP. It was amazing. He's always was known as the quarterback whisperer, And so I just think that he's got a shot, and I hope he gets in. He's won so many places everywhere. It's kind of like sometimes it just gets to me really simple. Well, what's it mean to be one of the best? It's like one of the best means you just did well everywhere you went. You know what I mean? And that's what he did.
Yeah.
He was a Super Bowl with 3 different teams. the Niners, the Packers, and the Seahawks.
It's wild. Well, you're also one of the best, especially in not just my eyes, but a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah.
But you were, during your playing career, you were very outspoken about your faith. And
Yeah.
now seeing all these college football players who, it seems like any opportunity they get, they're talking about Jesus. Like, not
Yeah.
just like their faith, they're talking about Jesus.
Yeah.
What has that been like for you to see that?
I think it's wonderful. I think that society's always tried to push Jesus into a corner, and then they say, we want you to be your authentic self. And so you can't say that you want somebody to be their authentic self and then push away probably, at least what it seems like, some of the guys' biggest thing in their life. And so I was a little brash, I would say, when I was there, so I would kind of throw it back at people, and they'd be like, well, Shaun, in the Northwest, we don't really talk about Jesus. And I was like, I just came from Alabama, and the best players, they get to talk about whatever they want. And
Yes.
so,
Hey, somebody's got to set the standard.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to set the tone.
yeah, and so for me, like, it was like an unwavering thing. We're going to talk about Jesus. We're going to talk about family. We're going to talk about standards and convictions, and I just did that, and it was so cool, like I said, having Trent and Matt as like big brothers to me, they're coming in there. They're like, yeah, we're in there. I was like, oh, snap, we're about to be Max Strong, So it became very easy for our team to be our team. I remember when a kid came in, and he was, we were thinking about trying to bring him in as a free agent, and he saw all the Bibles in the locker room, and he was like, y'all Seahawks are a little different. We're like,
Yes.
yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
I love
and
that.
so it was great.
That's good. Well, that's a good different. And I think truly, I think that's what's, set you up to lead your family in the way that you are. And it's really cool because not only has my dad poured into me, but even just talking to you today, I'm hearing about the gospel, and you mentioned Trent Dilfer and Max Strong. Those are all people who throughout my life have just been, role models for me.
Yeah.
So this is just so cool. But right now, Super Bowl 59, who is Jesus to you?
You know what? He is the savior of my soul. I think that it's one of those beautiful things that the older you get, the more you don't have to hide from the things that you hate that you do, the sinful things in your life. I've always told my kids, let's love God, let's love people, let's hate the sin in my own life, hate the sin in your own life, and not try to hate the sins in everybody else's life, And so when you hate the sins in your life, you don't mind sharing the flaws, the weaknesses, the iniquities that are off, because you got a Savior that took care of those things.
That's
and
awesome.
so it's beautiful to get older and say, you know what, this is a flaw in my heart, this is a flaw in my walk, but I fully give this over to Christ, and this is how I can stand in it.
That's awesome. Well, you just set me up for a great day at Radio Row. I feel really pumped up
let's
after
go.
that, so I appreciate it. And I know you got a lot going on, but I do want to ask you, you're here with Stand Together. Can you just tell me a little bit about what you're doing with them?
Man, I love Stand Together. Been with them about 6 years. We help stir up the people that are doing great works in the communities. It's about 850 of some of the most successful businessmen, women, and philanthropic leaders in the country. We try to get together and tackle some of the country's biggest issues: education, community work, families, poverty, juvenile justice system. And we try to find the great foundations that are doing those work and try to give them a business mindset to how to tackle the problems. And sometimes it's putting great thinkers around what they're doing, and sometimes it's putting finances behind what they're doing. But we believe in a bottom-up kind of way of doing it, which is if you're already in the community doing the work, then we'll come and help you do what you're doing. We don't like from top down, meaning I'm way over here in D.C., but I'm going to come over here and tell you how to do it in Chicago. We like the grandma in Chicago, the 5 men that got together in Chicago, and we're like, hey, you guys are doing great work. Hey, let's come and help you all do what you do better. And it seems to create work. We know that we're helping tens of thousands every month, millions every year.
That's cool. Well, it's needed.
Yeah.
We appreciate you, and I love
sweet.
hearing about it. But thank you so much for coming on Sports Spectrum today. So cool for me. This is such a full circle moment. And go Hawks!
Yeah, go Hawks.